Senate leader Ali Ndume has inaugurated ad hoc committees set up by the leadership of the Senate to provide solutions to the numerous problems confronting the Senate. The ad hoc committee comprises of 12 members made up of 2 senators from each geopolitical zone of the country.
We sat down at each of the 6 geopolitical zones to say, among us, minimum of, minimum of 18 in each geopolitical zone or 15 in the southeast. Looking at out of the 15, which is the minimum in one of the zones, selected these 2 distinguished senators who are capable, and members are so confident that they can sit down to address all the issues confronting the Senate within and outside the Senate as it is now.
Senator Ndume also said that the entire Senate is confident that the ad hoc committee will give the 8th Senate a new lease of life.
I'm confident personally, and every senator is confident that this committee will put to rest all the issues that we have, and we believe that even those issues that we have with the public in terms of disconnection, misinterpretation, misinformation, which partially you guys are responsible for it, will all or at least be addressed.
Some members of the ad hoc committee are Senator Goswi Akpabio, Senator Benga Ashafa, Senator Barnabas Gemade, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Senator Monsura Sumono, Senator Buka Abba Ibrahim, and Senator Joshua Ladani. Others are Senator Hope Uzondima, Senator Sam Ego, Senator Ahmed Sani Yerima, among others. The committee has 7 days to complete its assignment. From National Assembly Complex Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting. A bill seeking to establish National Poverty Eradication Commission has passed second reading on the floor of the Nigerian Senate. Sponsor of the bill, Senator Ibrahim Gobiri from Sokoto State, while leading the debate on the bill, said poverty is a major threat to Nigerian security.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, poverty is the greatest challenge in our history today. This cancer constitutes major threats to peace and security in our country. It is sad to mention here that after over 11 years of the establishment of the National Poverty Eradication Program, NAPEP, the program is yet to effectively impact on the lives of average Nigerians, basically able to life as effective legislative enactment, directed, regulated, and for the private groups on which it was established.
Cross-session of the Senator canvassed support for the establishment of the National Poverty Eradication Commission. In his submission, Senator Adamu Abdullahi from Nasarawa State said the past government in the country have not done enough to address the plight of the poor.
The weakest link in our chain, that is the common man, the proverbial common man. So yes, I want the attention of the President. I was saying that given the status that we've given ourselves, that nature has given us, and the international community recognizes that we are in the Committee of Nations, the weakest link in our chain is not getting the attention of government as it should.
While rounding up the debate on the bill, the Deputy Senate President, who presided over the plenary section, said the National Assembly will be up and doing in the campaign against poverty.
As a mindset, an angry man, I
hungry man is an angry man. And so we must do everything possible to reduce poverty to the barest minimum in this country. And we must start with the redistribution of wealth and natural resources. But it appears that the gap between the rich and poor in Nigeria is high and unacceptable. We must also follow the example of other democracies, especially in Europe, where the tax regime is average of about 40%. So that is a fair way of the rich contributing to the welfare of the poor, because we must account and be our brother's keeper.
Meanwhile, the sponsor of the bill, Senator Ibrahim Gobri, in a press conference, explained that the commission, when established, will embark on sustainable measures in addressing the issue of poverty in the country.
There are several things that are to be done in that. One of those things is to look at things that are going to be sustainable in future. Not just to give you 5 naira today, tomorrow 3 naira or 4 naira, and then if I don't have the money, you don't have anything. What we want to do is to have something that is going to be sustainable. And this commission, I mean, that should be the work of this commission. That is why we said on quarterly basis, they should give a brief to Nigerians so that Nigerians will know, yes, we should smile because there is a reduction of 3, 4, 5, 10% in poverty in Nigeria.
To this end, following the second reading, the bill has now been forwarded to the Senate Committee on National Planning for further legislative action. From National Assembly Complex, Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
In order to ensure that the level of awareness and advocacy for viral hepatitis is raised to the consciousness of every Nigerian, stakeholders in the health sector have had a focus group discussion and pre-testing advocacy and materials in Abuja. Representative of one of the key partners, United Nations Office on Drugs, Gunasekaran Rengaswamy, the West African Regional Advisor for United Nations Office on Drugs, said viral hepatitis is even worse than HIV/AIDS, as more needs to be done to reduce the number of those that die as a result of lack of awareness.
And a lot of people who are injecting also are having hepatitis much before they contract HIV. So we have done a lot of work in terms of bringing them also as one of the segments to be part of this national policy. So we have recommended specific programs that needs to be implemented for them. So this is one great opportunity that we have taken to take it to the next level of sitting together and looking at how we can advocate with the different stakeholders, like with the presidency, like with the governors, like with the international partners, as to what kind of programs can be made available to them.
Statistics say that national average prevalence of hepatitis B is 11% and that of C is 2.2%, with over 20 million Nigerians affected with hepatitis B or C, meaning 1 in every 10 person is a carrier. Speaking on the level of preparedness of Nigeria as a country, Rengaswamy said Nigeria is on course with regular policies.
We have the first and foremost thing is we have a very robust national policy that we have launched by the health ministry last year in July, and that's a great step. We also have a work plan that is ready that we are willing to really work, and it's also very progressive, which takes into account of all the issues around this, which takes into account of the hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and all issues that we are going to focus in this country, including people who inject drugs.
Rengaswamy, who gave the specific objective of the focus group, said it is one of the measures being taken to ensure that things are done in line with the policies available.
It is set to achieve how best we can really generate more interest for the issue, how best we can, integrate all the partners together to come and work for this cause, and also to make people to commit more resources for this activity. We also need a lot of resources and a lot of people to support this issue. So I think this is one of the things. And first of all, we all have to jointly speak in a single voice through advocacy tool,
The focus group is an initiative of the Yakubu Gowon Center, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health. From Abuja, I am Festus Ejiroge Nefifen for Ben Television. The decision by the Nigerian Police Management Team under the leadership of Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase in creating the Complaint Response Unit (CRU) of the force has started yielding positive results, as the first quarter of 2016 report has indicated a reduction in the complaints received against officers and men of the Nigerian police. The first quarter report, which was made available to Ben Television in Abuja, shows that 1,075 complaints were received, out of which 899 is resolved and closed, 96 being false or irrelevant cause, 21 distress calls, and 59 pending cases. Comparing the quarterly reports to the report of the first 100 days of establishing the CRU, 10 state command, which include Bayelsa, Benue, Ebonyi, FCT, Kano, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Oyo, Zamfara, which were hitherto recording high number of complaints from the public, have shown steady decline in the number of cases from January through March 2016. Speaking to Ben Television in an exclusive interview in Abuja, the officer in charge of the Complaint Response Unit, CSP Shogunle Abayomi, said from the 899 cases that have been resolved and closed, 20 officers from the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police and below have been sanctioned and disciplined in line with laid down rules.
CRU has changed the way police interact with members of the public, and the CRU is closing the gaps that used to exist in the past between the police and the public, in the sense that members of the public can now have a platform where they can raise their concerns, their complaints 24/7, and such complaints and concerns are resolved almost immediately, which had never happened before in the past.
On the issues of some Nigerians who might not be too happy with the outcome of some of their complaints, the CRU boss said all things are done in line with extant laws.
Just as we are all aware, roadblock has created a lot of negative image for the police, for the Nigerian police force, and the scrapping of roadblock, in no doubt, has gone a long way to reduce the complaint, for sure. Even though I agree that there are different circumstances, there are system factors. There are system factors responsible for rising number of cases. There are different factors responsible, but issue of pressure is out of it. I don't believe that is part of it. But as a matter of fact, the CRU is studying these complaints because we want to develop a pattern of complaint for every state command. We want to see those that are actually responsible. At the end of the day, we want to have a comprehensive look at complaints from every state, so that we can get to actually see, then that is how we're going to now say this is the reason why this is happening, and if this is the reason why this is happening, then this is the solution we believe should be put in place, stop or reduce this from further happening. And we're going to be making this recommendation to the IGP in the coming days.
CSP Abayomi Shogunle, who was the former Deputy Force PRO, also took time to speak on the major factors and limitations facing the unit, which includes high level of illiteracy and low level of awareness on the part of rural dwellers, while emphasizing that in the overall, the gains are more than the challenges.
We have not created new sets of rules in CRU. We have not created new laws in CRU. What we are banking on are the existing laws that we have in the country, existing police acts and regulation, existing civil service rules. Those are the things we are using. And if the rules or the law says that this is the procedure, this should be in place before you can say this has happened, and those things are not in place, we try to explain to them as such, and we tell them, but if you have new information, additional information, feel free to come up with it or with them. But so far so good, no police officer has appealed any sanction or the outcome of any of these cases, because these are clear-cut cases with evidence.
He therefore used the medium to advise Nigerians to desist from the habit of arguing with police officers, as that could lead to situations beyond control. From Abuja, I am Festus Ejirogo Nefifen for Ben Television.
The electricity distribution companies have said the deadline given to them by the federal government to meet 1 million electricity consumers annually is not realistic. According to the DISCOs, the cap on their capital expenditure is a major challenge to meeting the deadline. In a statement made available to Ben Television by the head public communications of the Bureau of Public Enterprise, Alex Oko, the chief executive officers of the 11 DISCOs stated this during an interactive session with the acting director general of the Bureau, Vincent Akbotaire, in Abuja. Speaking on behalf of the successor power companies, the managing director Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, John Donachie, said the DISCOs and GENCOs had benefited from efforts of the government in the sector through National Integrated Power Project, Niger Delta Power Holding Company, Nigeria Bulk Electricity Trading PLC, and the Central Bank of Nigeria's 213 billion naira intervention fund. On his part, the Director General of the Bureau, Vincent Akbotaire, said the continuous interactions, as well as the commitment of the power operators and the political will of the federal government, were critical to solving the challenges in the sector, even as he called for enhanced synergy between the successor companies and the Bureau.